Hi, Dr. Bagley. I'd written you this letter, and I was going to put it in a card, and then we got here today, and everyone said we can do this video recording thing. So here goes. This is the letter that I wrote to you today, and I hope I can get through it without crying. Dear Dr. Bagley, I've loved you for 30 years. I told this to my choirs this week as I shared my excitement about this weekend's events. Of course, being the middle schoolers that they are, they gave me a somewhat suspect look with, of course, the ew and ugh. And I explained to them that it was a teacher love, or the love that you have for your favorite coach, the kind of love that would make you follow that person anywhere. And that's what I did. At Stonington High School, under the direction of Michelle Holt, she brought you in to the choral rehearsals. My freshman year, I was sold. It was a completely pivotal moment for me, and one that would determine the course of my life. As the years went by, I sang under your direction at Eastern Regions, All-State, All-New England. I even got into an All-American choir, which toured Europe, and I just shared a story with you about that, and live a humble. I knew that I was going wherever you were, and when it came time for me to choose a college, the choice was obvious. Thank goodness, because my parents said my choice could only be something in-state because that's all we could afford. Luckily, you were at Uconn. It worked out great. To me, every rehearsal felt like an all-state. I marveled at your preparedness, your energy, and your attention to detail. For 6 years, I was lucky enough to sing for you, and in conducting classes, you helped shape me into the conductor I am today. There are no words for the effect you've had on my life, and I can never thank you enough. I try each day to stay true to what you taught me, to the lessons that I learned. I try to pass on the love and the passion and the gift of the art. In sharing a portion of your rehearsal notes yesterday in meticulous fashion that is so you, my students said that now they know why I am so picky, and that is the best compliment ever. That is why, many rehearsals later, I have loved you for 30 years. You have given me everything. Ellen.
Hey, Dr. Bagley. I can't even find the words to thank you enough for everything you've done for me. I still remember 2001, I believe it was. You came in for the Northern Regional Choir here in Connecticut, and I was a part of that, and that was those 3 short days were all I got to work with you, but those 3 days absolutely changed my life. I still tell people about the 45 minutes we spent saying "and taste death's woe" over and over again until we got it exactly correct in that Willametta Spencer piece. It really confirmed for me that I wanted to do music, and that experience actually made me study harder and want to become a great conductor and a composer as well. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you at the 90th.
Hey PB, it's Joe D here, and we're having a great time today celebrating your 80th birthday, and what a day it has been. So emotionally charged, so poignant, so beautiful, seeing all of these amazing people, all of these amazing musicians that you have helped cultivate over the years, all of us, and to be gathered today in your presence, in your honor, is a day I will never forget, and I know you won't either. I first saw you conduct before you knew me, and that was right here in Vondermeden when you conducted the university choir in Bach's B minor Mass. And I remember sitting out in the audience, pondering going to graduate school, thinking to myself, well, if I could study with this man, then I would be one lucky human being. And it came to pass. And I remember one of the very first things you taught me was to connect the dots. And I think we were having some kind of music lesson or history lesson, and we were bouncing around through the centuries, and you said, we have to connect the dots with this and connect the dots with that. But you know what? Connect the dots became something even more when I think of you. When I think of Peter Bagley, I think of music and love. And those are the dots you connected for me in a big way. You gave my life great meaning by teaching me all about music and all about love and people. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. So, happy 80th birthday, and I am looking forward to the 90th birthday celebration, which I believe is in about a decade from now. So we'll get preparing our music for that day. So happy birthday. Love you.
Dr. Bagley, it's a pleasure to share this 80th birthday celebration with you. I've enjoyed the singing in the choruses that you've directed over the years, various different choruses, and it's so wonderful to be here again this year. I don't think you age at all. You are so efficient and so humorous, and there is such joy in the rehearsals that you lead, but you're also so demanding, and I relish that challenge, and it's a joy to work with you again. And so happy birthday and many more to you.
All right. Hey, Dr. Bagley. I was surprised that you remembered me today, so that was good. I remember you. The first time I met you was when I had spoken to you about not joining chorus. You had tracked me down in the practice rooms, and then you promised that if my audition went horrible like I promised it would, that I wouldn't have to join chorus. So I sang, and then you told me where to buy the copy of The Messiah. It was one of the best and most nerve-wracking things that ever happened to me, and I'm glad it did. I sing now, like on purpose, out and about, like not in, in concerts or whatever, but I do open mics and things like that, which is fun. And you really took the momentum from high school that I had from singing and loving singing and had it continue throughout my time at Uconn, and it really has just made my life better. So thank you for that.
Dr. Bagley, I basically just want to say I love you and thank you. There's just too much to fit into a tiny little 2-minute thing about how much you mean to me, how much you've affected my life, and how much I admire the way in which you affected other people's lives and the world. So that's about it. I love you so much. It's been thrilling to sing under your baton again today. I've already been in tears multiple times. So thank you.
Hi, Dr. Bagley. It's Emily Fournier. I started in the chorus in fall of '03 as a freshman. Originally, I wasn't going to do chorus because I wasn't going to be a music major, and I figured might not really be welcome, but the thing that I'll always remember is that you made me feel welcome. You made it clear that as long as I loved to sing, I could be a part of your choir, and it made sure that I could keep music alive in my life, even though I ended up being an accountant. So I still sing with my church choirs, so it's still alive in my life, and I really appreciate that you helped me keep it that way. So thank you so much.
All right. Well, Dr. Bagley, I'm very grateful to be here today and to have the opportunity to be conducted by you again, which I didn't think that I was going to have the opportunity to do this, and so I'm extraordinarily grateful for the experience and for the past 15 years that we have been friends, and you have been a mentor and a father figure to me. You're my favorite person, and I'm so grateful just to be here today to celebrate your birthday. Happy birthday! And you are the reason that I got into music and that I found the love of theory and performance, and that I really stuck with it. And so I appreciate everything that you've done for me. And I'm going to say I think that we're going to have another chance to be conducting partners here. I'm going to have another chance to be conducted by you, and you're going to have another chance to hear me sing in front of you. So I look forward to your 90th birthday when we get to do this again. I love you, Dr. Bagley.
So there are 4 college professors that have influenced my musical career in ways that I can't even imagine. 2 of them in my undergrad and 2 of them in grad school. And here at Uconn in grad school, one of them, of course, was my voice teacher, Virginia Pyle. The second person was Peter Bagley. And what I bring to a rehearsal as a conductor is due so much to what he instilled in me in terms of being prepared, about being ready to not really take people, but lead people in a place that they've not been before and help them discover things in the music. I owe so much to who I became as a musician to this wonderful man. And it's such a privilege to be able to come together with old friends, really old friends, new friends, and also see this interesting cyclical thing. You know, I was one of Peter's students. I have former private voice students of my own who are now here as well because they came to Uconn after they had studied with me. And so to see this almost pass it on sort of thing is pretty special. And so I get his feelings when he sees all of these people he hasn't worked with for many years, but faces that still look older but very familiar. And there's a certain sense of, I think, fatherly proudness because he really is kind of a dad to us all. A dad and a mom, really, to us all in so many ways. So I thank you, Peter, for all of the gifts you gave to me.
Dr. Bagley, I have 2 minutes to encapsulate a world of love and gratitude for the gifts that you've given me in my life, not only as a musician, but just as a human being. Being part of your world is a tremendous gift. As one of your singers, you not only encourage us to strive for excellence and strive for greatness, you give us hearts of kindness, hearts for justice, hearts full of equality and love for just the world, and you charge us to go out and make the world a better place. And I feel like there are very few people who've had as much of an impact on me, both as a musician and even now as a therapist working with at-risk adolescents from the streets of New Haven. You give me a lens to make sure that I am treating people with dignity. And that's how you are as a musician, that's how you are as a man, and I truly, truly love you. And happy birthday, you're pretty much the most amazing person I know.
I met Dr. Bagley when I was the executive director of the Hartford Chorale. He came and did some vocal workshops for us, and we all fell in love with him, of course. Later on, I decided to use him as my first subject for the Gifts of Honor website, and he gave a compelling life story video. I'm so honored to be here today to be able to sing for his 80th birthday concert, and I'm thrilled that so many of his students have come back to honor him with tributes.
Dr. Bagley, this day's for you. There are so many people here that just love making music with you, and I count myself among that multitude. And I cannot thank you enough for all the gifts you've given to me. I still remember when I was a junior in high school, and you came and conducted the New Hampshire All-State Chorus, and that would have been back in, I think, 1996 or 1997. And I was blown away. I didn't know what was going on. I knew it was powerful. I knew it was musical, and I knew I had to be a part of it. And so I ended up here at Uconn for my undergrad, and the rest is absolute history. You found me and decided that I should study choral conducting with you for a master's program, and I learned even more. We had some of the best arguments I've ever had in my life. You bled all over my writing, and you taught me music, you taught me score study, you taught me how to be a better person, and I will always be eternally thankful. Thanks, Dr. Bagley. I love you.
Dr. Bagley, I just wanted to say I love you very much, and I had the best 4 years of my life here doing chamber choir and concert choir with you, and you taught me the most about discipline, and happy birthday.
Hi, Peter. I'm so glad to be at this event, and I'm so glad that this event is happening. And I just wanted to share a couple of things. As you know, I taught high school for several years, and I had various students go to all states. I, of course, accompanied, and Peter Bagley was the name that I remembered of the people that just were incredible with the choirs. it was fast-paced, it was fun, but it was demanding, and they learned so much about music, about what's involved in music, and it was just totally inspirational to me, and for my students as well. And so Peter Bagley became the name. This is before I ever saw you personally. Then I moved to Connecticut, as you know, and went through the doctoral program, and all of a sudden, some people started asking me to conduct all-state choirs. And so I thought, okay, I'll do it, and I thought of you. So I think the second all-state that I did was in Maine. And as you know, that was connected with the music teacher conference. And so you were there doing probably a session somewhere at the conference. It was probably the first day, and I'm on the stage, and the choir is all in the seats in the auditorium, and all of a sudden you walked in. You walked in and sat in the back and listened to my rehearsal for maybe about a half an hour. And I just remember almost clutching and thought, Peter Bagley of all people. So of course you were very gracious and kind afterwards. And then it's been so wonderful that we are now seeing each other more, and I feel that you are really a true friend. But I just wanted to share that memory with you, and it's what I've thought about several times as I've thought about this event tonight. I hope you enjoy it all, and you deserve everything you get.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to share today is just a personal message to Dr. Bagley. I met PB in New Paltz in 1980, and for 1 year I was the president of the New Paltz Concert Choir. And the thing that I remember most, though, that stuck with me all these years is the love that Dr. Bagley has for all of us, and we for him. It was shortly after I arrived at New Paltz that my mother passed away on Valentine's Day. And that's a tough time for a 20-year-old. But shortly after, while I was home, I received a Western Union telegram from Dr. Bagley on behalf of the choir. And just the words of comfort and of love, the words of encouragement, that I didn't stand alone during that difficult time, but that I had people who loved me and would support me. He's always been a friend, and even to this day, 30-some years later, I remember his commitment to me and to all of us who had the pleasure of working with him and performing with him. That's why when I heard about his birthday celebration today, I haven't seen him since, I think, 1984. I couldn't miss this event. The opportunity to sing with this choir under his direction, just priceless. So I'm so thankful to be here. And PB, I just want to tell you I love you and happy birthday. I look forward to your 90th and your 100th celebration to come.
The word homecoming. Homecoming is coming together. But in the last couple of years, the African American community has flipped those two words around, and they say homegoing instead of a funeral. And what it entails is that we have been home, but we're going home. And the spiritual is going home, going home. I'm going home. So what we're experiencing today is not just a homegoing, but something that is in the passage of homegoing, mostly for me. I've had the privilege, and I mean privilege, of working with these young people who now are in their respective fields, parents, children going to college, and I'm thrilled that they, on their own, decided that they want to come back, homecoming, and be a part of this festival. When my favorite aunt passed away, before she did, she said something to me that has never left me. She said, "It's nice to smell the roses before you leave." And here I am, not only smelling the roses, but this whole incredible bouquet in which they are lifting their voices to each other, with each other, and to say, well done, well done, well done. In this way, my very first position was in Eastern Junior High School, which is part of Greenwich, Connecticut. And it was my very first full-time choral teaching position. And I was the first African American to teach in the public schools of Greenwich, Connecticut. And I carried that with great distinction and great honor from 1957 to 1961. This is just before the beginning of the great civil rights movement. Just before Dr. Martin Luther King made many of his sermons, visited many of the churches both in the North and in the South, and even the turbulence and the violence that occurred, that we basically just celebrated the 50th anniversary of the March on Selma. And in these years in between, much has happened, much is still happening. We leap forward a couple of steps and then we pull back. We leap forward and pull back. And to see these young men and women coming together, making music, believing in themselves, sharing their experiences, sharing their families, sharing their family photos. I've never seen so many iPhones and so forth looking at babies and grandpeople and grandchildren. And it's been a wonderful experience. But the fellowship that we have had, that we have enjoyed, this one day has been something of a miracle. It's more than a homecoming. Homecoming in that sense is really about getting together, drinking a lot of beer, and just having a great, wonderful time. This is not. This is a very, very different experience. And for me, it has been a very spiritual. So I want to thank you people, you grads, you undergrads, you fellow musicians. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming back, for all of us to share who we are, what we've become. That, to me, is the miracle of this festival.